Let's be clear, Saw, 2004, is the cinematic equivalent of being locked in a damp basement with your worst coworker and a broken hacksaw. And somehow, it works. But not because it's polished or refined or even particularly good. It works because it commits hard, like drop everything and crawl through glass commitment. That's respectable, that's also insane. James Wan's Saw is a film that, in theory, should have been straight to VHS. Two men chained in a filthy bathroom, a serial killer with a puppet and a god complex, flashbacks that look like they were filmed during a caffeine overdose. It sounds like the rejected plot of an edgy student film. And yet, here we are. Over a decade and several increasingly unhinged sequels later, calling it a cult classic. Let's talk about that bathroom, shall we? That grimy, mold-infested little chamber of despair is the real third character in the film. No one questions why it looks like it was last cleaned in 1973. We just accept it. This is a movie where fluorescent lighting is scarier than any monster. You don't need ghosts when you've got tetanus waiting in every corner. Then there's the acting. Cary Elwes, bless his heart, gives a performance that swings wildly between subtle British dad and possessed theater student on his third Red Bull. Watching him deliver emotional lines with dead eyes and an accent that occasionally goes on vacation is part of the charm. Meanwhile, Leigh Whannell, who also wrote the movie, acts like someone who just found out he's allergic to his own dialogue. There's so much intense whisper screaming that you begin to think maybe they aren't in pain. They just forgot their lines and decided to freestyle through trauma. And speaking of trauma, let's give it up for Jigsaw. Not your typical horror villain. He's not lurking in shadows or chasing co-eds in the woods. No, Jigsaw is more of a toxic life coach. His vibe is less, I will kill you, and more, I will put you in an impossibly elaborate, metaphor-laden death trap, and if you die, well, you just didn't want to live bad enough. It's motivational speaker by way of Hellraiser, and we let him get away with it because he rides a tricycle and whispers like a serial-killing ASM artist. The real horror of Saw isn't the gore, it's the logic. None of this makes sense. Jigsaw wants to teach people to value life by putting them in scenarios that make Kafka look like a preschooler. Oh, you cheated on your taxes? Here's a reverse bear trap strapped to your jaw. You have 60 seconds to fish a key out of your roommate's intestines. Good luck. That's not justice. That's a group project run by Satan. And yet somehow the film taps into something primal. Not fear necessarily, but anxiety. The anxiety of not being in control, of waking up somewhere sticky and fluorescent lit, with a stranger who's just as confused as you are. That resonates. The real terror isn't the trap. It's the realization that your choices might have led you here and now you're stuck. Forced to listen to someone monologue about morality while Billy the Puppet stares at you like he wants to sell you crypto. Visually, the film feels like it was shot entirely on expired film stock and edited by someone in a fever dream. The flashbacks are so stylized, you half expect a Linkin Park song to start playing. There's shaky cam, there's split screen, there's random sepia tones that scream, "We're indie, damn it!" And somehow, all this chaos doesn't ruin the film, it defines it. Saw isn't trying to be pretty, it's trying to be unsettling. And it nails that in the way a rusty bear trap nails your head shut. So, is Saw 2004 a great movie? Absolutely not. Is it genius in its own grimy, unhinged way? Weirdly, yes. It took a shoestring budget, two guys in a bathroom, and a killer with the philosophy of a drunk philosophy major, and turned it into a global franchise. In the end, Saw is less about horror and more about stress. It's horror by way of an escape room designed by a man with zero chill and too many engineering degrees. It's not trying to scare you the way traditional horror does. It's trying to trap you in a sweaty, existential panic spiral. And it does so with the grace of a sledgehammer. Final verdict? Saw is the cinematic equivalent of stepping on a Lego barefoot and then finding out that Lego had a whole backstory about how you failed as a person. And that is kind of brilliant. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Quirky Critic signing out.